Hello friends, welcome to this session and we have to find out the minimum in the list. So let's suppose this is the list, I have to find the minimum element. So in order to find the minimum elements, let's define a function with name min. I am passing this list as a data and this will be returning minimum element. So let's start its implementation. As discussed in our previous session, the logic will be to assume first element as the minimum element. So let's suppose my minimum element is data at index item 0. This is my first item and I am assuming that this is the minimum element. So in this case, minimum value will be 20. So if this is the list, data 0 will be 20. I'm storing this in minimum variable. Now I have to compare this variable with all the value in the list. So let's create a for loop so that I can iterate over all the elements in the list. So the first item will be 20. If item is less than minimum, then I have to update my minimum variable with the item. So let's explain this. First time my item will be 20. So I will compare 20 with 20 because minimum is already 20. And if my item, which is 20, if this is less than the minimum variable value, then I will be updating minimum. But this time this is not the case. So it will move to next item, which is 4. So here you can see that the item of value is 4 and this is less than the minimum variable, which is 20. So minimum will be updated to item. So in this case, the value of minimum will be updated to 4 and then it will move to next item, which is 5. Here 5 will be compared with minimum, which is 4. Since 5 is not less than 4, so no action will be taken and we can simply return the value of minimum after this for loop. Let's run this code. So you can see minimum is 4. We can cross check for this data. Minimum is 1. Yeah, perfectly fine. So we can improve this code a little bit. There is no need to compare 20 with 20 because we already have data item 0 in this. I can extract my data item from 1 to last. If I write my data item like this, it will start from 1. It will not start from 0. So 1 is 4. So already we have 20 in minimum. So instead of starting from data item 0, I can start from data at index 1. So that's why I am specifying my starting value. There is no ending value. It will keep on running until we have any element in the list. So in this case, it will start from 4, not from 20. And I hope this makes sense to you. And this for loop will have less complexity because it will run for one less cycle. Let's run this to cross check this. Yeah, the code is working fine. What will happen if my list is empty? So you can see that we are getting an error, list index out of range. So can you answer this question, how we can solve this problem? Since my list is empty and I am accessing data 0, so this will raise an error because there is no data in the list. So when you try to access data 0, it will raise list index out of range. So in order to solve this problem, I can put one if condition. So I hope this makes sense to you. I'm using inbuilt function len. So if my length of data is 0, means if my list is blank, then this will simply return none. Otherwise, this code will execute. So we can add one if condition to handle this blank list case. Let's run this. So you can see no error is raised at this point because it's just returning none. And if you have few data item, it will able to find out the minimum. Very good. So at this point, I have another task for you. So can we return the index value of the minimum element? Instead of returning the minimum element, let's return its index value. So here the minimum item is 3, so it should return 1. Let's suppose minimum item is 2, then it should return its index value, that is 0. If minimum value is 1, then this should return its index value, which is 2. So take your time. You need to keep the track of index value. There are multiple ways to solve this problem. Take your time, and I will see you in the next session with the solution of this problem. But I recommend everyone to please solve this problem on your own first, and then you can compare your solution with the solution discussed in the next video session. Thanks for watching this video. Bye bye.